Thanks ZBiotics for sponsoring this video. Today I'm going to show you a few reasons why my dry-aged steak is better than most. Let's begin. This is a 35 days bone-in dry-aged steak. As you know, I have done some insane experiments with dry-age and I've learned quite a few. But here's my biggest recommendation for you if you want to start dry-aging at home. Just do it! They have dry aging bags which will get you started in dry age. It makes the steaks more tender and it gives it a very unique flavor that is almost impossible to describe. With that being said, today I'm going to show you how I'm going to cook this steak indoors versus outdoor. Let me be very clear. If you want the best steak, you got to cook it outside on the charcoal. I've already done a video like that and you guys can check it out where I give you all the tips on the way I like to do it. However, I haven't shown you how to cook a steak indoors. Today is that day. The first thing you want for an indoor steak is to find one that is nice and thick. He's thick! You see this one here is about 2 inches thick. That's what you're looking for. And the reason you want that is that the pan is not that hot. So what happens is you will get a little bit of gray band. You want to minimize that gray band as much as possible. So starting with a thick steak is the best thing to do. But now I say enough talking and let's get cooking. First thing we got to do with a dry aged steak, especially a thick one like this, if I don't tie it up, it will actually break it apart on me. To do that, it's pretty simple. Grab a butcher twine, cut it up, go around the steak and tie it up 2 times. Chop up the excess, and now it will keep its shape. For the seasoning, I'll keep it real simple. A good amount of salt. Now I want you to notice the amount of salt I'm putting. Some people will go like, holy moly, that's ridiculous amount of salt. You gotta remember, this is a thick cut of steak, everybody. But not only that, as soon as I put it on the pan, a lot of this seasoning will be lost. That's one of the secrets of steak houses. Season your steak properly. Next, freshly ground black pepper, a good amount. Try to have fine pepper, not big chunks of pepper that will get stuck in your teeth. They're not pleasant. And finally, a good amount of garlic powder. If this is your first time having a dry-aged steak, then do not use garlic powder. That way you're going to be able to distinguish a dry-aged steak and a non-dry-aged steak. We got that ready. I'm going to immediately turn on my oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, honestly, the pan that you're using will matter. I like to use a carbon steel pan for 2 reasons. It's light, not heavy like a cast iron skillet, but a cast iron skillet is just as good, everybody. Try to avoid this non-stick. It's not good for steaks. First thing, we're going to turn this on. I'm going to be using avocado oil. You can use any oil you like. Any high temperature oil will work, everybody. Don't make a big deal out of it, okay? The comment section love to say like, use extra virgin olive oil. If that's what you like, use it. But at least to me, it gives a little bit of off flavor if you sear it for too long. Here's one of the biggest mistakes most people make. They get the oil too hot. See how it's starting to smoke? Since I got that temperature, I'm going to lower it to medium high because we want to get a nice, beautiful golden brown crust, not burn, okay? You should immediately hear a little sizzle. You don't want to flip it immediately after you put it on the pan because you want that Maillard reaction to start happening. Usually you got to leave it there at least for 1 minute. 2 things I want you to notice. First of all, we're starting to form a crust. You see that? But it's not perfect yet. But most importantly, look at the amount of seasoning there's left in there. That's what I was talking about. That's why you got to season it properly. But now I'm going to go ahead and go for the other side. Now I'll leave it like this for an additional minute. But before that, let me take a quick moment to thank today's sponsor, ZBiotics. Let's face it, after a night with drinks, I do not bounce back the next day the way I used to. I gotta make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. But that is until I found ZBiotics. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that is to blame for your rough next day. ZBiotic produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. It's designed to work like your liver, but in your gut, where you need it the most. Just remember to drink ZBiotics before drinking alcohol. Drink responsibly and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. Give ZBiotics a try for yourself. Go to zbiotics.com/Guga to get 15% off your first order when you use Guga at checkout. ZBiotic is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/Guga and use the code Guga at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, ZBiotics, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get right back to it. Minute has been up, starting to get that nice golden brown color. Let's flip it again. A rule of thumb, if you want to use 1 minute each side first and then flip it every 30 seconds. My crust should be starting to get nice and golden. That's what I like. Check it out, everybody. Looking beautiful. Please notice that I am in medium heat right now. If it was high heat, we were gonna be getting a lot more burn. Been 30 seconds, let's check it out, that golden brown color. See that, everybody? That's what you want. I'm happy with this crust already. I'm gonna go immediately for the edges a little bit. Let's get all of the edges nice golden brown. Again, I'm at medium heat. I'm not super high heat. I am medium heat right now, everybody. Now I'm happy with this. I'm gonna take my steak off just for a second. I'm gonna turn off my burner. Check out the amount of seasoning there's left in here. That is a crazy amount of seasoning, everybody. So I'm gonna remove all of this because some are burned, which is totally normal. Now, I don't need to make this perfect. I'm just trying to clean up my pan a little bit. And I'm also bringing the temperature down of that pan. Back it goes, and I'm gonna put all of the butter and garlic in there. Now, it's still very hot, and please remember, my stove is completely off. I'm just using the residual heat. Now I'm gonna immediately grab my steak and put it back in there. I'm in no hurry, everybody. I am in full control. Don't panic when you're cooking a steak, okay? Now, stop sizzling. I'm gonna turn it back on and put it under medium heat, okay? Because what we really want to happen here is two things. We want the butter to start foaming up, but we also don't want the butter to burn. If it starts getting too brown, that's a no-go sign. And this is starting to fry up that garlic. Take a look how now it's foaming up. You see? That's what you want. You want to use that foam on top of the steak because what happens is a little bit of that Maillard reaction from the butter will stick to the steak. That's what you want. I'm happy with this. I mean, I can go for a little bit longer if I want to, but honestly, pretty happy. Now, I'm turning off my burner. Remember, this is a thick steak. It's still completely raw inside. So what I want to do is I'm going to transfer to an oven-safe plate. And now I'll put that beautiful butter on top of the steak. Oh, yes. If that garlic was golden brown, by the time I take off the steak, it will be burned. Now into the oven until it reaches an internal temperature of 135. Took about 30 minutes, everybody, and it's fully cooked now. And it has been resting for 10 minutes. Resting is key for the perfect steak. If you want the best, let it rest, okay? Now I want you to notice one thing. My garlic is not burned, everybody. That's what you want. So even though the garlic is not golden brown, what I really want is to be super soft. And I mean, come on. That's like butter, everybody. We'll put it on the steak and it's gonna be delicious. First thing we gotta do is remove that butcher's twine. Look how it never lost its shape. Still looking exactly the same. If I did not do that, we would have lost the cap. It would have started coming off. To slice it, the first thing I like to do is to remove it from the bone, just like so. You all know that this is one of the best parts right here. And now we slice. Nice thick slices too. Don't get cheap with it, everybody. Do not rely on the poking thing. We all know that does not work. The biggest advice, use a thermometer. You will achieve perfect medium rare just like this. Now, to finish it up, what I like to do is go crazy, everybody. You don't eat steak every day. We're just gonna pour this butter on top of that steak. Oh, it's not fat-free, baby. It is not fat-free. Now it's time to try, and the best part for me is to have my friends and family give it a try.
Yeah!
Woo!
Yeah!
Was that Jamie Oliver? So that is how I like to cook my dry-aged steak indoors. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.